Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, your host, and we're in luck because we're in Pottawatomie County, just on the east side of Wamego, Kansas. And, you know, a lot of people collect things. They collect coins, they collect stamps, they collect baseball cards. But our next guest collects tractors, old tractors, and lots of them. You're going to want to see this. So, hang around. We got to take a break, and we'll start this show when we get back.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, your host, and we're in luck because we're in Wamego, Kansas, and we're speaking with Jim Meinhardt in his tractor museum. And Jim, you've got a bunch of tractors here, and there's some beauties. And so before we start talking about individual tractors and some of your favorites, tell us a little bit on how you got started.
Well, I grew up in Paxico, Kansas, in the farm machinery business with my dad. He started about 1953. I worked for him until about 1967, and then I moved to Wamego and started a dealership here. Been selling for almost 50 years, and we started out with Alice Chalmers and took on New Holland and several other lines, and that's what we've been selling since, plus adding some other lines.
But when you first started, though, this dealership was Minneapolis Moline?
There's actually Minneapolis Moline tractor sitting on a lot, but we didn't pick up that dealership.
Okay.
So we started out with basically Alice Chalmers and New Holland. We started here, actually started in a small building with 5 people, and today we have 9 stores and about 150 people. The antique deal kind of came on. A guy came in one day and wanted to trade me a 1909 International truck on a small combine. I told him no. He came back, and I finally gave in. That may have started the whole process.
Became an antique tractor junkie at that point. That was you started with the hard stuff in 1909, huh?
Yeah, well, that's the 1909 truck. Yeah. And since then, most of the stuff we have here we've traded for. We have bought a few items. I've bought some items from dealers and also from farmers, and it just kind of grew from there. Got kind of stored everywhere, and then we finally built this building and kind of had the dreams of having a museum. And that's what we do today. We have old machinery. Hate to see it go to the salvage yard.
Right.
So we're trying to save that image for the farmers of the past, and we're trying to preserve this equipment. So we have a little bit of everything. The stuff inside our building, our museum, is most of that's not for sale, but we have equipment outside that is for sale.
Right. Again, you've got a lot of tractors here. They all start, and how do you maintain them?
Well, everything in the museum will run. It'll take a little coaxing to get it going.
I bet.
Yeah, but everything did run when we brought it in here, and it wouldn't. And so we try to keep those tractors up, and cars, keep them so they're up in shape. I have a guy that helps me full time, inside and outside the building on different equipment. And we just do the best we can in between everything else we do.
Well, some of these tractors here look like they just came off the factory floor, or maybe better than they came off the factory floor. I mean, these are immaculate.
The paint jobs might be better than the factory job. We're lucky to find a gentleman that would rebuild them for us, and he's done that for several years now, and so we just do one at a time and keep fixing them up.
Oh man, this is wonderful. Jim, we got to take a break. Hang on here.
Okay.
Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
I think Blueville does a great job of being educational in nature. They answer people's questions. They do it willingly. So we really appreciate that up close and personal approach that they have and how well they listen to their customers and respond to their needs.
My and they're very prompt with things that we need to have done. And so we're very pleased with the service.
It's kind of a one-stop shop for all of your gardening and landscape needs.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com. That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, and Jim Meinhardt here at Wamego is still with us. And Jim, this is one of your first endeavors, wasn't it? The 1909 International? Tell us a little bit about it.
That's correct. This is the one I mentioned that the guy came down, wanted to trade it to me, and I told him no. Didn't really have enough money to buy it or trade for it. Came back 30 days later and talked me into trading.
Twisted your arm, huh?
For a little combine. We've kept it shedded for all the time. We've had it in parades. It runs good, and my youngest son actually drove it in a parade a few years ago.
Yeah, I see a picture right here.
Yeah.
Is that your?
Yep, that's my youngest son and his wife, and little daughter.
Well, I bet that everybody kind of oohs and ahs at that. I'll be darned.
It's supposedly hauled agricultural products from Hanover, Kansas to Lincoln, Nebraska.
I'll be
It
darned.
has hard rubber tires, a little two-cylinder engine, so it's kind of unique.
I'll be dang. Well, let's go over here and talk about these Fords.
Okay. What we've done here is we are a Ford New Holland dealer, and always liked the little Ford tractors. So what we did, we found three different ones. One is standard, one with a six-cylinder, and one with a V8 in it.
The big one over there.
Yeah. And we rebuilt them, and everybody relates to a little Ford tractor. So we thought,
I raked hay with these things.
most people have. So we fixed those all up and repainted them. And everybody likes to look at them. They
So
like the tractors.
what's the year on this one?
This would be a 52.
52?
One of the last ones made.
Boy, it's a beauty. Okay.
And, but they all run and everything's good on them. This is a six-cylinder here, actually a truck engine they put in them. The kit was actually made down in southeast Kansas to do it.
Oh, really?
A company by the name of Funk, F-U-N-K, I believe it is. And they still make attachments and transmissions for people today.
Oh, to rebuild them, or?
Well, for the new tractors.
Okay.
And the next one is a Ford Ferguson. It's a V8, and it's the same way it's been retrofitted, the engine has. This tractor actually came from Colorado, and a guy to rebuild it and had it for sale. It's one of them we bought.
Okay, what year? So that's a 52, the six-cylinder. What year is that?
That's actually older. That would be probably about a 47. And this one here is a Ford Ferguson. I would say it's probably early 50s also.
Okay. Okay. Boy, these are nice. These are nice.
So they all run good.
Okay.
And,
yeah. Okay. Well, what's this little beauty over here?
Well, this is a LaSalle or LaSalle. It's 1940. It's original paint. It's got a flathead V8 in it. I actually traded a boring bar, which is a piece of machine shop equipment for even up from a guy, and it's in excellent shape, and we just one of my favorites for sure.
Jim, we got to take another break here.
Okay.
Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer. With us we have Jim Meinhardt in his tractor museum. Jim, I'm looking around here. You've got little model tractors, you got everything, signs. Tell us a little bit about this mobile sign above us.
Well, it's always been dear to my heart. My dad was a mobile distributor in Paxico for 50 years. He didn't really have this sign, but I found it and had it redone. Mobile's always been my favorite brand, and so we got it fixed up and always have it lit up for the museum.
Well, now, I got to tell you, my dad was a Texaco dealer, and Texaco was always my favorite brand, so the Big Star, the Big Star was mine. Yeah. So that's impressive. That's impressive. It got a Ford sign over here.
Yes, the Ford sign came. We used to have a Ford car dealer in town. It's gone now, but it was on the front of the building, and the guy that owned it, I asked him if he was going to sell it, and he said, "I'll give it to you," but we had to rebuild it and everything. And then the Chevrolet sign up above here came from a Chevrolet dealer we had downtown.
Here in Wamego.
Right. And we've got got an Oldsmobile sign and a couple others that came from that
And you have
place.
some other signs in the back here on the ground.
Yeah.
These are wonderful.
Just kind of collect whatever comes along, and that's why we have some oil cans and that kind of.
Tell us a little bit about this pump here.
Well, that also didn't come from my dad's business.
It did or did not?
Did not.
Did not.
Actually, a farmer had that on his property, and I asked him about it one day, and I think we traded for that on something. I'm not sure what. Both these signs. So.
And you have a Skelly from Tulsa, Oklahoma, pump back there in the back. It is again off of a farmer's.
Yes. Yep.
Farmer's
Both of them came from farmers' places. So.
I'll be
So
darned.
that's kind of how we collect it, find that stuff, and today we have people bring stuff in that. Some of they even just give it to us. They don't want it to go to the junkyard.
Right, exactly. So it's preserved here.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah. Trying to preserve the past is what we're trying to do.
Sure. I think you're doing a good job. Wow.
Thank you. We got from toy tractors like you'd buy at our stores to the old tractors to brand new ones. So we go from about 20 horsepower on the real tractors to about 600 horsepower today.
In the museum?
Well, actually in the museum and our business. The big ones are in the big business. So.
Right.
And we just try to collect like the pedal tractors and kind of anything we see that's old. And try to take care of it.
Okay. I'm not ready for the museum yet, although my kids think so.
I think my kids think the same. But it's been a fun project.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Hey, we got to take a break.
Okay.
We want to talk about these big tractors in the back here.
Okay.
Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer. Jim Meinhardt is with us at the museum here in Wamego. Jim, I know you probably get this question a lot, and I'll be another one to ask it. You've got to have some favorites of all your tractors in here. So I won't ask you the top one, so maybe give me the top 5.
Okay.
What are your favorite top 5 tractors you have?
2 of them are behind us here. The first one's a D17 Alice Chalmers. It was on our showroom floor when we purchased the business.
Okay.
And it's one of 3 that was sitting on the floor. We were able to buy it back and fix it up. And that's about a 1967 model. And the D21 is one we traded for and then fixed up. And they were real popular in tractor pulling, had a lot of power. And
That's a big tractor. What's the horsepower on it?
about 135 horsepower, the way that was. But they can run them up to a couple hundred horsepower.
And you say they're used a lot for tractor pulling?
Yes.
I'll be darned. Okay. Well, what about the 17 here, D17?
Well, the D17 was sold new. The guy kept it until he actually passed away, and they had a sale, and we bought it back from the family. And this is pretty special since it was one of the first tractors we ever sold. So.
It came with the business, and you're able to buy it back.
Right.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. So it's kind of special.
So you have maybe a lot of the tractors you actually sold and then got back?
Oh, probably maybe 20% of them. Tractors we sold new, and one way or another we traded back for them and everything. Most of what we have here we've traded for. Very few we've purchased, but then we just kind of hold on to them. It's kind of fun because people actually come in and want to know where their grandpa's tractor was, or
Want to see it?
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. They reminisce on the old history. So.
Okay, I bet.
The tractor right here beside us, nothing special except it's a tractor with a bale loader, and it's all complete. And that's something we can't find because most of them have been, salvaged out or taken off and never put back on, and parts get lost. So we like to find those kind of units, which we getting harder to find every day.
Right. Yeah. That's an impressive little thing. I hauled lots of hay without those.
I did too.
They were a great invention.
That's right. You bet. But it's just kind of fun to talk to people and show them everything about it. So,
yeah.
Well, back to the Alice Chalmers tractors. We've got about one of every size made, and that's something we've tried to get is a full line of collection, probably from the 40s on up to about 1970 in that range.
And they're on the back wall back here, right?
Right.
Okay.
On the back wall. This tractor here is an F20 Farmall. It belonged to my father-in-law and his brother, and they farmed with this tractor for many years. We got it out of the shed kind of in pieces and rebuilt it, and we've had it in parades. Farmed a lot of land in its time. And also have a smaller Alice Chalmers that's kind of special.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
Folks, we have to take a break, so stay with us. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
We started farming in 1970. It was harder work then than it is now, a lot more physical work and the wear and tear on my knees and my body. Now here I'm 70 years old. I started having knee pain here 4 or 5 years ago, and so I was looking for a stem cell clinic, and lo and behold, my good friend John Farley and Ken Wood, who'd been customers and friends for a number of years, opened their clinic, and in about 2 months my heel was a lot better, and then at the end of 3 months and then going on 4, my knee started making significant improvement, and it's sure been a blessing because before I had the stem cells, I'd be driving a tractor, and if I sat in a tractor for 2 or 3 hours, when I got out, I'd have to stop and get the kinks out of my knee and shake it. And today, that's not a problem.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Well-designed container flower gardens bring beauty to your home, at your entry, on your patio, or placed in a special spot in your landscape. Let Jackson's help you select the correct plant combinations which will add the color and style you need, and that will survive the summer to provide beauty till frost.
Our annual Mix or Match flat clearance is going on now. A flat of 12 4-packs is just $19.99. Similar savings on premium proven winter annuals too.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn. for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com. That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer. Jim Meinhardt from Wamego is with us in his tractor museum. And Jim, this is the back wall that we were talking about, all the Alice Chalmer tractors. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, these tractors are anywhere from 1940s through probably 1960. All different sizes. They're gas, diesel, propane, a little bit of everything. And just kind of put a row of them together that everybody can see them at one time. And you know, the museum, what we've been talking about doing is being open 2 or 3 days a week. At this point, we have it open if you call ahead, and we'll be glad to show it to you. Hope to be more full-time in the future. As everyone knows, farming's been real good for the last 4 years. That's changed.
A little tough right now.
That's changed drastically in the last year. And we were really busy during that time, so the museum kind of got put on hold. And so we haven't done a lot with it, but we're kind of getting back with it now. And hope to have it open so people can see it, but we'll show it to anybody if they call ahead.
Well, that's good. There's a tractor that's kind of special down on the back wall back here, or actually the front wall. Well, tell us a little bit about that little thing.
It's a Alice Chalmers WD-45. My dad sold it new to the Polinsky family in Alma, Kansas, and I actually traded back for that tractor with their son, and for a small tractor to keep the farmstead up. They've quit farming, but that one's been a lot of fun because the gentleman has been over to see it, and he's passed away since then, but he loved to see that tractor.
Sure, I understand. Now, one of my favorites is that Oliver 77 over on the west wall over there, and that's kind of one of my favorites in there. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, I actually really always liked the sound of an Oliver tractor. They ran smooth, and there was a lot of them around this area. A lot of the Oliver owners, when they bought Oliver, they usually stayed with them until they basically went out of business.
A lot of loyalty then,
A lot of loyalty.
Right.
Just kind of a real nice looking, smooth running tractor. We also collect operators' manuals, have them here beside us here. We're trying to get them all taken care of. Some of those we'll have for sale along with other equipment, but
and you have a bookcase on the north wall here of manuals as well.
Yeah, we just kind of try to get them lined out, and some people want them, and it's, you know, some of them have names in them yet who had the equipment and everything, so they're kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
What I think I like the most of the deal is that you hear the stories from the older people on how tough things were and how they used to use them and everything. It's a lot of fun.
I gotta ask you, what does your wife say about your habit? Your habit. I call it a good habit. Well, what does your wife say about your bad habit of collecting?
Well, she shakes her head quite a bit. But you know, I've been in this business all my life. My wife is a farm gal, so she
understands. She understands. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to have. Understanding wife there. I understand.
We've kind of done this also to help draw people to our dealer, our main dealership, Can-Equip.
Right.
And people drive through this lot. You can usually come down here about any time of the day. Sometimes late in the evening, somebody will be driving around. People bring their kids out here to set on the old equipment, and it's just fun to watch them. And every weekend, you know, somebody drives through, and then on Monday I'll get a call. You know, want to know if that machine's for sale and how much I want for it.
Yeah,
that's been a lot of fun too. So.
Jim, I really appreciate you taking time and showing us your museum, your old tractor museum.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you for being with us, and don't forget, next week about this same time we'll have another issue of That's My Farm. See you then.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamandkansas.com.